What's up and good afternoon, guys. I made a mistake the other day when I made the video with the fan and the heater hose. I thought my editing app that I use would let me make a longer video. It stops it at 48 minutes and the video is longer than 48 minutes, unfortunately. So this video will be broken up into two parts, this part and then the heater hose will be following. I'll release both of them at the same exact time, just giving you the courtesy. So this will be attached to the fan. Thank you for watching, guys. Enjoy the video. What's up and good afternoon, everybody. Here we are back with the Mustang. It's still overheating. However, I know what the issues are this time. Hopefully, the only issues after this, the fan stopped working, and then my heater hose got a crack in it where it runs down to the top of the block. I'll show you here in a minute what I'm talking about. So I went to the store this morning and picked up a fan, picked up some heater hoses, and I'm not going to replace the whole part. I'm just going to replace a section of it just in case I still have a bad head. I haven't ruled that out yet. I know I talked about it in the past about doing a block test. Haven't had a chance to do the block test yet. And then shortly after that, I ran into some other issues. So yeah, here we are. But let's not talk much more about that. Let's just kind of get into it. I'll show you really quick where that one leak was, and then we'll set you guys up in the hole for some video. All right, hold on one second. All right, here we are. Now, this is that heater hose I'm talking about. Runs down, elbows into this guy right here. This doesn't look to be like leaking. I didn't see no holes around it, but where it's leaking at is right up here, right down here, and then it's running down underneath. Hopefully, I know you can't really see that, but hopefully that's nothing too serious. It's just some paint that faded off. But this hose runs down along the top of the cover, all the way back to the firewall back there. Like I said, I'm being cheap just in case I do have a bad head. I don't want to spend too much money on it right now. So what I'm going to do is cut right here, run it down and over to there, and then just put some hose clamps on it. I have a coupler that's going to go into there and one in that way, push them together, snatch it down. But what we all got to take apart today, we got to take this off. I'm just going to try and flop it up and out the way, but we're going to have to remove the intake. We're going to have to remove some of this stuff over here, like this guy. Just have to disconnect them right there, pop it up and push it off to the side. And then I do believe that will be it. I don't think I have to remove too much stuff down yonder. Nothing over that way. I'm pretty sure it's just this. I might have to remove this upper hose. We'll see though. All right, without further ado, let's guys get you set up in here. Get you guys. So what we're gonna do first is we're just gonna kind of focus mainly on the fan and then go from there. In a video before, I showed you how to take off the air intake and all that, so I'm not going to show you how to do that. Well, you can kind of see, kind of can't, kind of go from there. Let me get this. You see my puppy dog in the back. Her name's Daisy. Everyone say hi, Daisy. A little bit. That's a little bit better, yeah. All right, there we go. Everything is either going to be 8s, 10s, or 7s. These might be 6s right here. When we get over there, we'll see what's in that. Take those off, push that. I'm not taking off the air intake, the actual housing this time around. But this stuff definitely has to be off. I don't see this taking too much time up. Pretty quick and easy stuff, guys. Just push that up out the way. Pull that off, pull that off. Put it off to the side. Pull off this. Put that there. All right. Should be able to fish that around. These are 10s, both 10s. Before I said try to keep your bolts and all that in the same spot, I can't do that with this because where those bolts go, it sits right on the fan. So I'm gonna kind of just swap this guy. Not gonna happen. I gotta take it off. So what I'm gonna do is just disconnect these two hoses. It's gonna lose some coolant, but I'm gonna just flop it up out the way that way. Gives me a little bit more room. And this hose just sits right there. Oh look, I don't even have to disconnect it. Just move some stuff, guys. Move some stuff. It's not leaking sitting like that. I know it looks a little weird, but it's all right, guys. And I might get lucky and not have to take off that upper hose. I'm gonna try not to first. And this is a 10 over on this side. I'm not gonna take it all the way out yet, that bolt, because I want to disconnect the sensor, which is right here. See it, guys? Got a bolt right there. You have another one. Well, that's not being held in, but there's supposed to be one there. I got a bolt bucket that I'll just go find one out of. And I think that's it on this, and then you just pull it up and out, slide the new one back in. All right, let's get this unclipped. Clips are enemies, not friends. Sometimes you can't get your hands on it to get a good pinch. That's when either a clip, like a person with good fingers or something like that, can come in and push it off for you. But I don't got nobody to do that. So you just gotta kind of figure it out as you go, guys. What I tried doing just now was pushing it in with something a little bit harder than my fingertips. Okay, let's take this bolt out and try to pull it up and over so I can get a better look. So get your man mittens on. So much fighting for nothing. She will come. So I am gonna have to remove this hose no matter what to get the fan out. So I'm just gonna do that now. And I'll go back to the I'm not trying to lose too much coolant. So I'm just gonna put that down there. Trying to lose stuff and you don't want to, but you end up losing stuff and you don't want to. This kind of up and out the way, I can see it a little bit better. Now we got it. And sometimes doing stuff like that helps out a lot. All right, got the old fan out. Say Daisy, don't drink that. So here's the old fan. That's the new one going in. Gotta take it out of its wrapper. And then that's where it sits, right in there. You got your bolt hole here, right underneath the neck. Another one there. And it sits in those little slots. On the slots right there. Looks like a little elbow. You got another one right there. So as long as you get it into those little crooks, nooks, whatever you want to say, the bolt holes should line up. And always start your bolts by finger, never by tool. And that's how you strip stuff. Not strip. That's how you cross thread stuff and make the next time if you ever have to do that. New fan is going in, guys. Again, just fish everything back to how it was. Sometimes you'll lose like clamps or part of your other stuff. You just have to find them if you do. Like I just did. Okay. And I'm in on that side. And I do believe I am in on both sides. Okay, just take my one bolt back, which is this guy like here, a real long dong looking kid. And then I'll just start my hole up. Once it starts, it should be good to go. I'm gonna go find another bolt. I'll be right back. Here's my bolt collection, guys. I got a whole bunch of them. Different shapes and sizes. I want one kind of longer. I don't want one that's like, oh my god, Mom. I have a couple bolts in here that are from old radiators and stuff like that. They came with new bolts. So I might be able to get lucky. Might be able to get lucky and use one of those. Might have to switch these two around. That side's a lot longer. I'll show you what I'm talking about here in a second. So that long dong bolt needs to go over there. This guy can go right in here for now. I don't like the feel of that one. That pitch isn't right. Sometimes you just gotta work with what you got. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. If it doesn't, just come up with a new plan. I don't want my fan to be slapping around. That's how stuff breaks. But you gotta have the right bolt too. That one feels better. I like how that felt. The guy who had this car before me did a horrible job at wiring everything and putting everything back in. Makes me angry. Get my tenor back on there. So dang. That's what I was talking about. Sometimes you lose them. You have to find them again. Sometimes if the coal's under the car, you have to go climbing under the car. Let me get the light. It hit something and then it just disappeared. I hate when they disappear like that because you can never find them again. You need to in order to do your job correctly. No, I did not. But I did, however, find my hose pump I'm gonna need. I need to go get it. Alright, back to the bolt bucket. Now let me get this one side done. And that is a different size bolt. It should be an 8, which it is, so I'll use my 8 on it. Kind of tension it up a little bit more. Yeah, there we go. And then maybe I can get lucky. I really didn't want to use a smaller bolt in length. I really wanted to use that long dome guy. But I do have another one of those that I might just have to end up using. That's a 10, but it might work. Let's try this guy out. Try again. Stubby on there. This one's a 10, not an 8. I hate using mismatching bolts. It makes it so much harder when you go to do it next time around. And then you have to stop, go find a different socket, and then go back. It's not bad, I'm just complaining. Nope, didn't work. Looks like it does need to be along, and I might not have one. I might have to go pick one up from my job if I can't find a longer bolt. It's too thick. I really don't want to run into any issues after I put this all back together. Like, I don't want more issues than what I already have, if that makes any sense. Worst comes to worst, zip ties work magic. I got a tin wrench on the side. Not cutting the cake. That one looks like it's working, guys. It caught some threads. I'm good to go. Fan is officially in. Just got the sensor to plug, or not the sensor, the plug, fuse to plug back in. Yeah. And then we go from there. I might have lied. I might have talked too soon. It don't look like it caught. Dang it. Dang it, Jeebs. weird monkey nuggets are going on here? It was catching thread and then it backed itself out. So I know what's the matter, guys. I'm gonna have to zip tie it in. I'll show you. So there's that little silver guy right there. That's where it threads into. So you put your bolt through here, goes into, that's your air part of your air intake system. Runs up underneath into the bottom of this. You can kind of see it sitting under there, that little black hole. So this gets attached to that, which gets threaded through here into that. So all that is just kind of janky, so I'm gonna have to zip tie it together. But the fan itself is in. Just gotta plug the sensor in, which goes in just like so. You hear the snip? You couldn't hear it, but I felt it snipping. And then you got your one bolt there that's plugged back in. So all that's left is to put your radiator fan back, or not your radiator, your coolant hose back on. Put you back in your hole. Put your coolant fan back in, or not fan, your hose clamp back on. That way you can put that back on like so. And this guy is just sitting right up there like so. And then you can just button that back up. 8. And then I'll have to go find a zip tie. And tie that all back together. I think I got one in my box in the garage. I do, guys. I had one. I got one. I had it. I know I did. And the zip. I know it's kind of janky, and I don't really like doing it like this. But you gotta work with what you got. And right now, I ain't got a lot. In the future, though, we'll see. And I'm just gonna cut the little tag off it. Throw that in the trash. Okay. Fan is back in. Hose clamp is on. I'm just taking a look at everything else while I got some clearance to make sure there's no other issues going on. I'm not seeing any. I know that's plugged in, so now this can come back over here. This sits in its respective hole, which is just slides right into that little opening. And bolts right back up to the fan. 1. Remember, start your bolts by fingers, by hand, and bolt number 2. And then swap out the sockets. Back out. That can go off to the side for now. I have 2 options. I can either put my intake stuff back on, or I can leave it off. I personally don't need it on, so I'm just gonna take it off. Or I don't need it off, so I'm just gonna put it back on. That way it's just one less thing I have to do later. And we can get done a little bit quicker. Just throwing stuff, losing it into the abyss. So I didn't know I was leaking coolant too after after doing that thermostat. I found out yesterday when I was driving back from picking up a part for another car that I was losing coolant and I started to overheat. Luckily I didn't red light or anything weird like that. It just got up to temp and I shut it off. Push this back on here. And everything just gets buttoned back up. These should all be 10s still. Nope, I lied, they're 8s. I messed up. This one was off track. The other one is on track though. They both get scooted over a little bit better. There we go. That one's good. Oh, I should have loosened both of them better. With that. That one's tight now. And back up here and do the same thing. And plug that in. Nice and quick. Everything's good over there. Now we can just focus on